So last thing, because I do like to talk, it's my favorite thing to talk about. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I definitely love history. I definitely believe there were ancient civilizations and other things out there that we as humans still don't grasp that might be more advanced. Like they might not have had computers, but they still had different tech that was more advanced than what we had, or whatever the case is. But I thought this was interesting that the Pentagon officially launched a new task force to investigate. So they used to have the Blue Book group or whatever, or the 12 that back in the 80s or whenever that got together and did this, and then they quote unquote disbanded it. But what I find interesting is that even though there probably has been that going on behind the scenes, they're actually now making a force public. Like there's actually a public group that is sent to discover that. The fact that we've gotten this far and the over the last 4 years, there have been, the Pentagon releasing the videos, other Tom DeLonge being right the whole time, and actually having legit connections within the government to kind of bring this out into the open. How long do you think it's going to be till they just tell us? They're just like, okay, there is a galactic federation, and
That's
unfortunately,
funny that you said that.
right
I wondered
now
if that's
we're
what.
not at the place that they feel we're worthy to be in it because we're so small-minded and so consumed with ourselves until the humans actually reach a place of enlightenment and figure it out that the world is much bigger than just social media and stuff. um yeah, when do you think I think it's coming soon. I think within the next 10 years they're gonna pretty much tell us everything they know.
I
Yeah, I
would
don't know.
say
See,
it's coming soon.
in my opinion of that, I would think that even if there are like some advanced uh, life forms out there and they're doing their thing, I would think that maybe this is just me being an arrogant human being, but I would think that they wouldn't be perfect animals, and there's a good chance that they probably would have slipped and been seen by now by somebody that's not getting like brain erased by a government person that knows that they saw something. You know what I mean? It's kind
Yeah.
of weird. My mom is really into all that and believes into that very heavily, and like my stepdad and stuff, and they follow a lot of the governments, and that's my stepdad was talking earlier this year whenever he's like, oh, there's, and just talking about just like you're talking about where they're coming out and saying a little bit more about it. To me, like I think that we've really dreamed up something that we can't believe really, in the as in like whatever if there's another life form out there or whatever, chances are like we've not even thought about what that would actually look like. You
Yeah,
know
it
what I
could just
mean?
be like an
In our
amoeba.
minds, in our minds, we've kind of humanoided them. We've put them on like two arms and two legs and a big bubble head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's hard telling. How do we know? Maybe snails are aliens.
I mean, if you think
I will.
about all the different
Mhm.
galaxies, it wouldn't be that far fetched to
No,
think that there might even be other people that look just like us,
I
because they
believe in all
probably have the
possibilities.
same properties on that planet.
I
Absolutely.
will say, I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but I had a moment in time where we were, I would, I don't tell the story much, but
And the
I don't
unexplained.
know if you have, yeah, like if you ever say of anything unexplained, I'm like, man, I saw some crazy shit one time. It was like 2 in the afternoon. I'm not even bullshitting.
Yeah.
And I was with like two or three different guys in my car, and I had to stop my car and get out of the car, and literally all of us got out of the car. And this is back in like the late '90s when like phones didn't have fucking cameras on them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I wish at the time I would have been able to just been like, "What is this?" But man, I looked up in the sky, dude, and I saw this thing. It was literally just. It looked like a square. It literally looked like a ship. I'm not bullshitting. I
Yeah.
could see it, and it was like a square triangle looking thing, and it just sat in the horizon, and it just sat. It sat there for a second, right? But I never saw. Like I said, dude, I never watched something move so quick in my life than I watched this thing move.
Wow.
I'm not even talking like watching it move through the sky. It went from like one point and then showed up here, but you could still see that it was a ship. Like you could literally see it wasn't like it wasn't like a flying saucer that everybody was talking about or anything like that.
Hmm.
It was literally like a triangle looking like ship in the sky just floating there. Like I said, to this day, I don't tell the story, but
Yeah,
I saw
surreal.
that stuff at two o'clock in the afternoon, plain as day. So, I believe that things out there. So
at
so because
least
I
more
can't ever,
advanced tech that we don't know about,
Mhm.
at the least, if it might not be
Oh, for
aliens
sure.
running around in ships, but we definitely have something out there.